Mr. Williams. Today was a pepper. It's Comics and Shots, a completely improvised semi-comedic musing by Howard Stern's Mick the Nerd, aka YouTube and TikTok's Mick the Man, aka Mick the Maverick, aka a guy who tried the delivery app Relay for the first time. More work than DoorDash, but it also pays better, so... Today's subject, the Lockhorns. It's probably been like at least 10 years since I actually read that comic. You know, it was a husband and a wife, argue a lot of the time. Husband dances with a hot lady. The wife says something. Sometimes they hug, it's nice. Yeah. And you know, no story arcs. If there was a story arc for the Lockhorns, I'll be surprised. I mean, it's just... they just stay in their bubble for all eternity, making catty comments towards each other. Yes. And was originally written by a husband and wife duo of Billy Host and Bunny Host. Yes. After Bill died, Bunny continued it ever since 1988, and I think she still writes it to this day. Yeah, ain't that a guess? Continuing something you started with someone you loved, even after they passed. That's really nice. And I feel weird complimenting something being so heartfelt for a comic that I haven't read in possibly a decade. Is that the weirdest thing? It's like I don't necessarily love it either, but I like the sentiment of it. Yeah. There's like thousands of Lockhorns comics, I believe. Literally thousands. There has to be. So many friggin' Lockhorns comics. What's the writing stage? They're all like one panel, so do they just like... how long does it take to actually script a Lockhorns joke? You can't tell. It could take just maybe like a half hour. Maybe they get stuck on a single bubble for like hours. The creative process is a potential nightmare, even for something like the Lockhorns. Even something as simple as the Lockhorns. Yes. Did that ever get a TV special? And a lot of Inks Features Syndicate comics got one. But I'm not sure about the Lockhorns. I mean, there was no plot to the Lockhorns, so... I don't know. I do not know. And what I do know is if I did ever read it again, I might enjoy it, or I might not. Or I might hate it. Either way, it. With that, like, comment, and subscribe. Donate if you're feeling nice. Share it with a bear. And always remember, praise be to the blood elk, fear the stabopotamus, and death to Kronos. Did it without coughing.